It was 2:08 a.m. My headlights cut through the fog, and that's when I saw it. Something standing in the middle of the empty road. My breath caught, and my hands tightened around the steering wheel. Tonight, I'll share 3 terrifying true night drive horror stories, and whatever you do, don't watch this alone. Story 1, The Thing on Route 57. It was late, almost 1:46 a.m. I was driving down Route 57 after a long shift. The air smelled like wet leaves, and the road ahead was empty, stretching endlessly into the darkness. No streetlights, no cars. Just me, my old Honda Civic, and the silent woods on both sides. For a while, I was calm. But then something strange happened. My radio started crackling, soft static cutting through the music. Then the headlights dimmed. Just for a second, like something unseen was draining the power around me. My chest tightened. I slowed down and scanned the trees, heart pounding. That's when I saw it. There, in the middle of the road, stood a figure, completely still, dead center. My foot slammed the brakes, and the tires screamed against the wet asphalt. My seatbelt dug into my chest as my brights lit it up. And then, I froze. It was tall, at least 7 feet. Its skin looked pale, almost gray, like wet paper. But the worst part? The eyes. They glowed an unnatural blood red. I honked. Nothing. I shouted. Nothing. It didn't move, didn't flinch. Then, I blinked, and it was gone. I panicked and floored the gas, flying past the spot where it stood. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. But the second I looked into the rearview mirror, my blood turned cold. In the faint glow of the brake lights, I saw something crawling out of the tree line, slowly, on all fours, its eyes still locked on me. I didn't stop driving until I reached a 24-hour diner 15 miles away. The cook looked at me strangely as I stumbled inside, still shaking, and then, without me saying a word, he whispered, "You're not the first person to see something on Route 57 tonight." Story 2. Tapping on the window. 2 summers ago, my family rented a small cabin deep in the Adirondack Mountains. After dinner, we were driving back late at night. My wife was asleep in the passenger seat, my daughter snoring softly in the back. The forest was quiet, too quiet, only the steady sound of tires on gravel. That's when I heard it. A soft tap. At first I ignored it, thinking maybe it was a branch or a rock, but then it came again. Louder this time. Tap, tap, tap. I checked the mirrors. Nothing. I rolled the window down slightly and listened. The air outside was heavy, silent, suffocating. I thought maybe it was just my imagination, until I saw my daughter's window fogging up. Like someone was breathing on the glass from the outside. I felt my stomach twist. I checked the locks, all sealed. That's when my wife sat up, pale and trembling. She whispered, "Did you see that?" And then I saw it too. A small, pale hand sliding slowly across her window, fingers dragging, scratching faintly at the glass. My pulse exploded in my ears. I looked around, but there were no houses, no other cars, just endless trees and pitch-black shadows. I sped up, hoping it was just an animal. But then something slammed hard against my window. The sound was deafening. My wife screamed, and I floored the gas. The car roared, fishtailing slightly on the gravel road. In the rearview mirror, my headlights illuminated them. 4 small, hunched figures standing perfectly still in the middle of the road, their heads tilted unnaturally to the side. I couldn't breathe. I didn't stop until we reached the cabin. I locked every door, every window, checking them twice. But when I finally calmed down and checked the back seat, my stomach dropped. There was one tiny, wet handprint on the inside of the glass. Story 3. The truck that followed me. 3 months ago, I was driving home after visiting a friend. It was past midnight, and the highway stretched out endlessly in front of me. At first, everything was calm. Then I noticed headlights behind me, faint and distant at first. I didn't think much of it, but within minutes they were closer. Too close. I switched lanes. They switched lanes. I slowed down. They slowed down. That's when I realized this wasn't random. I tried to stay calm, gripping the steering wheel tightly, my knuckles white. The truck behind me had no logo, no license plate, just massive blinding headlights and a low, growling engine. My chest felt heavy as the driver flashed their high beams 3 times. Once, twice, 3 times. I turned onto a smaller road, thinking I could lose them, but they followed. Every turn, every swerve, every mile. My heart was racing and my hands were trembling. Then it happened. Out of nowhere, the truck sped up and rammed my bumper so hard I almost lost control. My tires screeched against the asphalt as I fought to keep the car steady. I looked in the mirror, ready to confront the driver, but just as suddenly as it started, the truck swerved off the road and disappeared into the trees. No crash, no sound, nothing. I drove straight to the nearest gas station and called the state police. When I described the truck, they went quiet for a moment before saying something I'll never forget. That stretch of highway? There hasn't been a registered truck out there for over 7 years. I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. But they were serious. To this day, I still drive that road, and I've never seen the truck again. But sometimes, late at night, when the wind rattles my windows, I still hear the sound of that horn in my dreams. If you've made it this far, you're braver than most. Tell me, have you ever experienced something unexplainable while driving at night? Because sometimes, what's out there in the dark doesn't want to be found.